you should be going.
And welcome back to Oasis Valley Mysteries. We are at the end of the business as usual arc. As previously, the group scattered about following their own jobs and dealing with their own threads of investigation, unraveled a strange happening where cloned and uh, biomodded organisms have shown up, causing minor bits of chaos and havoc, which would have been much more public and vocal if not for all of your efforts managing to capture and subdue a wild flesh cloned bull tortoise, dealing with strange assassination attempts and seeming framings by homunculus, including hunter spiders and mosquito-like strigoi, as well as taming, recovering wild or seemingly feral jackal lizards escaping into town that, as well as turned out to be cloned. Uh, Through it all, you managed, with some hints from both Karnagor, who has revealed herself as living free and seemingly content to live in the underground of redemption and the rivers of the valley, but uh, you've managed to track down through both help and spell the location of where seemingly the staging ground where these creatures have been sent out into town, as within an abandoned construction site you discovered a strange unnamed man psionically manipulating and controlling these organisms, finding jackal lizards within containers and being set upon by watchdog scorpions and strigoi. Uh, Through some vampiric ambush and just overwhelming force, you managed to subdue him, uh, dragging him down for interrogation, revealing that while he was frustratingly cryptic and difficult during the interrogation, did reveal some things, such as that they decidedly do not work for Simulacra, calling them a competitor, and pointing out, I can't remember what else I was going to say about that, but as you were preparing to get him ready for the transport away as the cops were seemingly nearing, the man's health deteriorating as you spoke with him, before seeming to pluck thoughts from your minds, knowing names that no one else should know, and even predicting what some of you may had intended to inflict harm upon him in the moment. But that was countervented when Carlos, you used some magic to shield and somewhat burn out whatever psionic connection that he was transmitting or receiving. But it was all for naught, as hidden within his clothing, he pulled out a vial of Epiphany, injecting it into his neck and massively overdosing, creating something of a localized EMP that plunged the area into darkness. You scared the area, discovered jack lizards in containers, tranked them for their own safety, recovered a notebook from within detailing his activities and how he had been controlling the creatures, as well as detailing a lot of detailing. Sorry. This happens when I don't write the thing beforehand and I'm just freestyling. Revealing a lot of details about all of you, seemingly keeping track on some of you through the Strigoi, especially after you interfered with both oh, I can never remember which one it is. Both Sheila and Yuji Kanzaki, someone from with connections to Hanzo's past, and the reporter that has been constantly recently been a thorn in the side of Pluripotent, something that Hanzo, your new partner, has been perhaps tasked with discouraging her mistreatment of Pluripotent's publicity. But other than that, you escaped as you began to hear sirens in the distance, deciding best not to be involved, considering it would draw perhaps too many questions to too many of you. As you raced away, managing to avoid the getting caught up as the cops and ambulances arrived. As also escorting Sheila away, who had arrived, as you decided to fill her in on some of the things. Considering she walked in to find you all surrounding a dead body.
Yeah. That's not suspicious.
Yeah. But
and hurting your chances for a date.
There's been a lot of
I don't
weird things.
I don't want to date with Sheila.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird things happening around her, so she's just like, this all kind of tracks. So she believed you because I think someone rolled a good manipulate someone, but you all retreat.
Quite a few good manipulate someone's that time.
Yeah, you all. Oh yeah, because you got to interrogate the weirdo, this John Doe.
Bitch.
Who now knows the face of your children.
Yeah, but isn't he also dead now?
Mm-hmm.
He said, "See you later," right before he died.
His last words were, "Be seeing you." As blood was streaming from like basically every orifice on his face. But
and we deduced also that he's a Flash clone.
Yep.
A Flash clone who is psychic, which means there may be other versions of him who now know the face of your children.
He tasted, when you drank some of him, there was that odd taste to him. Plus, just Carlos, you as well, kind of gave him like a magic MRI. So, instead of a magnetic resonance, it was a magic resonance. Well, anyways. You all retreated back to the Greasy Spoon. Fred, you met up with your kids. They're back there eating dinner as you all retreated back to your typical corner booth you seem to go to when you need to discuss or decompress after such a event. Can't remember where we left off with that discussion, but we can continue from there. If
we found the we were looking through the notebook and we saw the goat being dissected.
Oh yes. The a goat being disemboweled with its organs being pulled out.
And we put together that was a reference to the company.
Yep.
Yes.
Harrispex Pharmaceuticals, which was mentioned earlier by your boss Hanzo as a possible, one of the many competitors to Pluripotent who really wish they could get access to the superorganism. Considering Pluripotent basically has a monopoly of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So what do we do from here? Are you gonna tell your bosses about Psychic Man? John Doe?
That would require telling them that I was there and what I did. Otherwise, my story wouldn't hold up.
Also, I will remind people that Hanzo pretty flat out just tapped the guy's head and asked him, neural implant, and the guy confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
Which was what led to Carlos trying to disable it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not try. You did disable it. It rolled really well.
Mhm.
I need to get like an ambiance for the diner.
Not my ass for
I
getting
will
where you
do an
it to
audio
roll
rip
20.
of that scene of the ordering sandwiches and corpses from Dropout and give that to you, and that could be the ambiance.
Not me forgetting we have a roll 20 room for this.
I was wondering where you went.
I was never there. But yeah, no. Informing them of what I know would require a lot more further questions that I don't think would put any of us into a good position.
No. Really disagree.
That being said, any and everything you've found, you should probably hand it over to me.
You have the notebook. There's this ledger with written all about us in it. I'd rather just burn that.
Not when we can glean information from it.
I mean, it's about us, Hanzo.
Yeah, but knowing
Yes.
what they know about us would be kind of important, wouldn't it?
That's true.
I mean, we don't want to be in a situation where, they know, we know, they know, we know. We want to be in a situation
What?
where we know, they know, we know, we know, they know.
You kind of lost it there at the end.
Well, I think if you analyze what I said, it made perfect sense.
Just,
All right, bring up the transcript.
just give me the notebook.
That movie hasn't
Oh.
come out for several years yet.
I know.
Sorry.
Hanzo.
That's because Fred has not yet become Casanova Frankenstein.
Olivia.
No offense, but why are you taking his notebook?
This is my job.
Yeah, and this is something you're not telling your job.
Still, it would help me to do my job. I haven't read it like you have.
I haven't read it either. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable with all of my personal information just being given to somebody.
I haven't read this either, to be fair.
By that same logic, anyone here could also claim to not want the book to be read by anyone.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. Like, I trust you guys, but I don't want you all knowing every single thing about me, or vice versa. This probably has your life story in it, Hanzo.
Sorry, brains. Buffering.
Buffering.
Klutzman has the right of it. It's good to know how much they know.
Yeah, but I don't want you
Do
to
you
know.
expect me to act on it?
And come on, I
Doesn't
doubt you've got any
matter.
big secrets. I mean, we're all kind of
Doesn't
open books,
matter
right?
if you act on it. It's my life.
I don't want to live forever.
maybe I do have secrets that I don't want everyone to know. What's it to you?
Well, oh. Are you
She
Batman?
seems a little, God.
You have to
She seems
remember,
a
Fred
little,
still doesn't know your secret
yeah.
identity.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but she seems a little like, you've seen her upset before, but she looks like
One of the
a
funniest things
special
you could have
kind of
said, Fred.
upset. Like, not in a way you've seen before.
Okay, so I'm getting that there is something secret that you don't want us to know, that you think we'll judge you for, which, I would like to think you know us better than that, but...
I don't think, it's not that. I just don't, it's not anyone's fucking business.
I
You
agree,
insist.
but, like, here's the thing. If there's something that personal intense, there's a possibility people who want to hurt you know it. And you've got to know
Yeah,
it.
of course.
You've got to know what they know
Yeah.
so that you're safe.
There's a difference between a corporation knowing my history and just people knowing. I can't stop a corporation from knowing whatever the fuck they want about me.
Oh, come on. We live in America.
Mm,
I have to remember Fred is an average
Yeah.
90s dad.
That no one understands.
Fred is an average 90s dad, but everyone understands. Because he's a fairly common archetype in human history.
Hanzo's just looking at you.
If you insist.
Look, if you want to take the files about you, so be it. I have no problem splitting them up, but
Oh, if that's an option, yeah, why don't we all just take our own shit?
yeah.
So it's not so much that there's like individual sections where it's like Hanzo's file, Olivia's file, Winifred's file. It's literally a guy keeping track, writing down. It's like, oh yes, Olivia showed up at Riggy's place. It's not like they researched you. That's the thing. There's not like extensive notes.
I thought this was like, I thought that's what this was.
no,
No,
this is
not-
just a notebook.
No, this is tracking your involvement with the mystery and going around and
Okay,
keep.
That changes everything.
I'm sorry, DM Fubar.
Because I was under the impression that was like a dossier on all of our fucking lives.
No, but there are. Okay, so do you want to go look through it now? Like if you like start flipping through it, like you saw with the goat. When you go through, it's like you're not mentioned until you get involved with the narrative of whatever scheme this was. Like, like it doesn't even mention the like how all of you were at the mole tortoise sighting in the beginning, but it's when you start interfering, it's like it's like Hanzo, the agent from Pluripotent, working with Johanna. Oh yeah, that's one thing. Hanzo, you had noticed that when it first mentions you and Johanna, and I guess everyone would notice this unless you try to intercede with it. It says Hanzo, former Yakuza, and Johanna Wakefield, former CIA.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna
Olivia.
say-
Read it.
No.
Go ahead. Read it.
No. Okay. Don't stop being an ass. Oh, Jesus.
What is the point of this show if there isn't drama?
Yeah, I know, but like, yeesh.
You were insisting.
I just
No,
like
she
how
was insisting that nobody read it.
Winifred, Tommy, and Carlos, they're all just silently eating, watching.
It's like, good fucking
It's
luck
gotta be
figuring
like-
out what
it's
I
gotta-
actually do.
Tommy doesn't even know what Tommy does.
Well, you're homeless. So
Yeah,
nothing really.
when it talks about the incident at the car wash, how it's like interference today. Winifred, Deep Ranger history is difficult to find out. This guy Thomas, I believe his name is, just showed up in town recently. Seems to be hanging out with the third member Carlos, who is there with Johanna, Agent Wakefield, interfering with my stuff. This diner seems to be a hub for them. Must keep watch. Should keep it under watch.
Well, good
Okay,
luck.
so-
Listen, a drama story
Yeah,
like this is
Tommy
all
and
about
Winifred,
starting the
it's
shit.
just like it's very simple. It's
Yeah.
just like, and it even says, there's even like a comment later when they're like dealing with another thing. It's like why are vampires so persnickety about their hiding their past? This makes recon annoying.
Okay, so Livia flips through it. She doesn't read it in depth. She's just looking for
Yeah, these are like some of the like mentions of you guys.
yeah.
Was it good?
She's looking for individual what she thinks is supposed to the individual files, but she's going through it.
Yeah, it's really a lot of just keeping track of the operation, which you could use this to be kind of chart out the thing, the timeline.
Yeah, she frowns at it, and then oh god, does she see the part about Hanzo when she's flipping through it?
What's
It's
the
up
point?
to you,
Does she know
'cause
what a Yakuza is?
I'd assume you're all kind of crowding around and looking at it. Whoever's interested in it.
Like I said, I was under the impression that it was something different, so Olivia was very no one's reading this. But now we know. Now I know that's not what it is.
I didn't mean to ruin your reveal like that, Hanzo.
No, it hasn't yet been technically
No.
revealed.
I mean, we knew he was part of the Yakuza.
Really?
Yeah.
Was there
did?
an official
I
confirmation
mean, out of
or
character
just
we did.
suspicion?
Yeah.
Like
out of character.
players
when
did.
you- That's a player
Yeah.
information, not a character information.
Yes, I know. I am very good about not letting those two intermingle. Thank you.
So it's still a reveal for our characters.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
If I know some people saw his tattoos briefly and oh, those are neat.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that Fred would not know what a Yakuza is, and would have to have someone say, well, it's the Mafia, but Japanese.
hmm
Well,
Yeah,
no,
Olivia's
you're a
pretty
Japanimation nerd. You would know what Yakuza are.
No, I buy Japanimation for my son. And it's
Right.
badly translated black market 90s Japanimation.
True.
So in the terrible subtitles,
Yeah.
if there are any at all, it would be I am space gangster. I am
Yeah, your
space
teenage
mafia.
daughter's probably more knowledgeable.
This is the era of animation being translated where the Decepticon Black Shadow, one of the Japanese Transformers, had his villain title translated as Space Mafia. Space Mafia Black Shadow. Not Space Gangster. Space Mafia Black Shadow.
I could be part of the Space Mafia.
So, we're not dealing with good translations is the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Olivia flips through it because she thought it was a dossier, but then she's she frowns at it, catches a glimpse of some things,
And
then
I was going to say, once you notice that there are other mentions saying that Agent Wakefield once again confronted Riggy about her reporting. Tensions seem to be mounting between them. Must exploit that.
yeah, fucker. Important
Well,
question.
did you make sure everything was okay for you to reveal Olivia?
Okay, she's looking through it to look for the names and files.
Mhm.
She's not reading it deeply. She's like, okay, where's who's and who's, and then as she's realizing, oh, this isn't dossiers. This is just more of his notes. But is there any mention at all of her being trans in there?
Not really. No, wouldn't really have a reason to.
Yeah, I mean that's what she was.
Had to
freaked out
learn if
about.
if John Doe was transphobic. Just had to make sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
Look, only Winifred knows, and she doesn't think you guys would, hate her for it, but it would absolutely change how some people would look at her. Fred, no offense.
Yeah, no, that is the time of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
she's like,
Fred would be like virulently homophobic, but he would definitely make some awkward faux pas.
yeah, absolutely, which is fine. I am fine with that, like as the player, but Olivia as the
Well,
character doesn't.
it does mention your romantic interest in Itzel.
Itzel.
It's just like side
That's
note.
fine.
It's like, because it said Strigoi tracked Kanzaki to talk to vampire mechanic at Preserve. Seems to be in relationship with Olivia. That's all it mentions, really.
Yeah, that's fine. She's openly flirted with women in front of
Everyone.
Fred. Yeah, in front of everyone.
In front of everyone.
Like, as she's flipping through it. Yeah, she doesn't read it. She's just like, oh, well, fuck. And then she'll like slide the folder across the Hanzo. It's not a dossier. It's his fucking notes.
Oh. Well, he really made that out to be more than it was, huh?
She is red in the face. Well, I thought it was something else.
That's all right. If you
That's
did murder
rough.
somebody, you can tell us. I'm sure it was justified.
Devin.
Hello, Olivia. I will point out that your fear is probably not unfounded, considering that those in proximity that he was in proximity to weren't exactly able to hide secrets from him, considering he used certain names.
He was in our heads super easily.
Yeah, like when you try to knock him out with the trank, you try to like redirect it so you stabbed Winifred instead.
Yeah, and I was able to stop that, but like, still.
Oh, sorry. This is a complete random thing, but Callie?
Yeah? What?
Yatha?
Yeah?
Sorry. I just saw the random thing got recommended to me on YouTube. It's Scatha and the Coldrakes, Tolkien Explained. Did you get the name Scatha from Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, it was just I just saw that pop up and I was like, wait, that's not Scatha's channel.
Scatha is one of the few Middle-earth dragons that has a name that, isn't Smaug.
Yep.
Or Glaurung.
That's totally where I got it. Because everybody when I was like looking for a name to use online had Glaurung and Calagon already. So I'm like, well, fuck you.
Oh god, I just remembered one of my Neopet alt accounts was named like after one of the racist swords from The Hobbit, because I was really into The Hobbit as a kid. Orcrist or something.
Yeah.
Yep, Orcrist.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That was a complete tangent, and I am my own worst enemy with those.
No, it's fine.
So, didn't mean to cut you off, Nora.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I thought it was something else. It's just notes, and it doesn't. Would you want me to read every single embarrassing moment you had in your entire life, Fred? From fucking.
I mean, I feel like you've witnessed a good chunk of them, so I probably wouldn't feel too bad, but I can see where you're coming from.
Her face, she's blushing. Not in a like,
God.
ooh, but in a like, she's embarrassed.
That's mostly my fault because I didn't explain it, I guess, well enough.
Yeah, I
No, you're
misunderstood.
fine.
I misunderstood.
Plus, it's been
Yeah,
2
you're
weeks
good.
since the last session.
There's no
Yeah.
fault. It's good drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so Fred, PT, because what you had Fred say there was like, oh yeah, you've seen a good portion of embarrassing things. Just basically saying I'm immune to it. Reminded me of Dr. Venture talking to Hank, going, "What I experienced today was a nightmare. That is my life." When talking about like the horrible things he went through as a boy adventurer.
Yep.
That's just Fred, but not as pathetic.
Not nearly as
Somehow.
horrible to his sons either.
No. But anyways, again,
Did
I'm the
you
worst with the
find
tangents.
anything else in that trailer?
Yeah, like I said, well, did you take the files?
She slid it across the table to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has his hand over the book, but he's asking Olivia, "Did you find anything else in the trailer?"
Yeah, there's something else.
Investigate a mystery.
Oh
What?
boy.
Actually, no, you don't have to.
What?
You have a hold of the one with the plan. I was going to reveal this later if you had taken the notebook, but since it might be going into Hanzo's hand, and this might prevent this becoming a resource for you guys later. Olivia, as you were looking through it, something you're like, wait, what did he say? As you like, somebody pull it back as something clicked because you're like mostly focused on some of the other things, so a lot of the details that weren't referring to you or your friends, kind of you glossed over them briefly.
Yeah.
But it's like delivery arrived from site, from the site, good to go, releasing them soon, and you're just like, wait, and then you like flip through it, and there's like, you have like a code breaker moment where you're like, hold on, I've seen that like that site name, or it's like, wait, that's not like it's like that's like a campsite name, or like a location camp, it's like site 30 something. They're like, wait, I've heard of that, I've been there. You're pretty sure that there's a moment where like you might be a little maybe grasping at straws, and you might have to go out there yourself to check it out. But there might be something out at this old abandoned camping site where there was like a lot 36 where previously you've had to go out because some, a nest of rattlesnakes got denned up in the outhouse area during the winter, and you had to go clear it out for a potential tourist season that never came. But you remember being out there and how it was kind of rocky and stuff, with some rocky hills, and with comments of how there used to be an old mine nearby. This was like leading up to one of the old silver mines, during the gold rush, or the silver rush era. And yeah, because of I had to get it out there, because you arrive, rather than to the physical thing, you arrive to the conclusion there might be something out there, a staging location or something.
Yeah, she's like, okay.
You have a Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment.
Yeah, and she's explaining that no, it's just his notes. She stops, dead. And what's the place called?
It doesn't really have a name anymore. It's like an old camping site that there were like several lots, but for whatever reason it was like in the 30s rather than like, oh yeah, it's like, I'm making shit up as I go.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. Yeah, so she like, freezes as as that catches her eye, and her jaw goes slack a little. I know this place.
Yeah, it's the diner.
No, she puts the folder down and like spins it so the other people can see, that particular section.
Rest of you probably noticed
I've
her
been
have
here.
a brain blast. You have gray matter all over you.
Oh God. I've been here.
Mm.
Is This is. I camped here, I think. I think they've got something set up there. Hanzo?
And up in the corner of the diner, you hear the music from the jukebox click off, and then a new song click on in the distance.
Is it just me, or is this like the third time What's New Pussycat has played?
You fucker. Right, continue.
Hanzo?
I'll
Easy?
investigate.
No, I've
Yes.
been here, Hanzo. And she pulls out. What?
Yes, I am present. I'm just trying to formulate words.
Okay. Yeah, see, I've been there,
Also,
Hanzo.
the music
I
might have been
can
too loud.
take you-
Sorry.
No, there's music?
Yeah. Oh, you're not in the
Oh.
Roll 20.
Oh, okay. I can take you there, Hanzo, but there was also, she'll, like, fish into her bag and pull out. Well, actually,
That impact
she'll, like.
was lost with the song starting. It was supposed to be like, you were correct as the song Ding Ding started.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's coming through for anybody, so.
Yeah, I'm actually not hearing anything on the music player.
I'm hearing it.
I am.
Oh, fuck, I'm an idiot. I was in the wrong roll 20. Shit.
It's fine. Song's about to end anyways.
Damn it. I can take you there, Hanzo, but there was also. Yeah, she fishes into her bag and pulls out. Well, yeah, she looks around to make sure, she's not visibly pulling out a heavily illegal drug in front of, a bunch of people.
Fred's kids are just staring from across the way.
Exactly.
Oh, cocaine!
She very carefully slides. Yeah, she slides her whole bag over.
Yeah, you can wrap it up in a napkin. It's.
Yeah, with the epiphany at the top. He had more of this. I mean, this is it. I mean, but aside from what you guys say he injected himself with.
And Hanzo, taking a look at it discreetly, you can tell this is not the same kind of injector that Dr. Porter's operation used, or that Kanzaki had in his mini fridge.
Clearly,
this one is like
know enough to tell what it's about.
Both. So that was the thing. Now that you had that comparison, you realize that the ones that Kanzaki had, were the same exact injectors that Dr. Porter had. So the thing is, though, that can be, that type of single-use injector can be found in many types of medicine, produced by pluripotent. This is produced by a different manufacturer. So it's like other times you would see like that same kind of design pattern for that injector being used for like people with like EpiPens or actually kind of like the antivenoms you have. They would have this similar kind of injector.
Mm-hmm.
The hypo spray kind of deal.
All right.
So wait, if this is a different brand designed not to
And
work
it's
with, not designed
definitely,
to
you
work
can
with,
already tell it's a much bigger dose.
if this isn't designed to work off of pluripotent brand stuff, does that mean the people designing this have their own source of flesh pit stuff?
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good point.
Oh, I should have said that in character as Fred. So does that mean that they's got the thing I just said?
The They're good.
So that was it for me.
Yeah, I just laughed.
About asking about the they have another source of the superorganism. Possibly the sample would need to be analyzed to see if it's like a different recipe or if that can even be a thing or what. But it's just it's like a syringe. It can be filled up with whatever you stick in it. You stick into something else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily that the epiphany itself is from somewhere else. It's just that the stuff holding it is.
Yeah, it's the mechanical thing, not the ingredients.
Oh, okay.
It's the device, not
But we don't know. But we don't know that for sure either because we can't exactly.
Yeah, because this could be like a different type of recipe than what Dr. Porter was making or what Kanzaki has.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like most drugs that are synthesized, there's a lot of variety you can do to the recipe and still get the same general effect, but
we're fighting
vastly
Walter
different
White
side
and Jesse
effects.
Pinkman.
Except
Didn't
instead of
Breaking
blue
Bad
crystals,
even take
it's
place
a
in
blue
Arizona?
New Mexico.
Oh, damn.
Like close. A lot of New Mexico looks like the Sonora. But so instead of blue crystals, it's a purple serum.
Video game poison.
Also, psychic powers are usually purple.
Mm-hmm. You gotta love how we've codified certain colors to be certain types of weirdness.
Yeah.
To be fair, purple is a color that appears very rarely in nature, so often using it signifies something rare and or unnatural.
Exactly.
By magic is often purple in Midgard.
Mm-hmm. We'll look into the campsite then.
Yeah,
Yeah, Hansa, if she didn't tell you it was a campsite, you would think that this was just like code for some random black site that they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
That's out of character. Yeah, with
because otherwise it would have been an investigative mystery to branch through it, weave through it. But
yeah, with all that information now found out,
you gonna follow that up now?
She might.
Hold on, I might disconnect first.
Uh-oh.
Well, they said as much.
You said we can disconnect for a second.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
I gotta reconnect my Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so beyond just hanging out, and what are y'all planning? Gonna split up or just still chatting?
He's going to investigate.
Well, I mean, is there
Yeah,
anything left to do at this point?
Yeah, no, this place here, Fred, that's where they were maybe maybe not set out from, but they're using it for something important. Seems like this is where they got the flash clones from.
Olivia and I will investigate. However, this doesn't have to be a full group affair. It's late and you
Yeah, we
should
just go
spend some
take a
time
look.
with your children.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I do have one other thing that's been itching at the back of my mind.
Scorpions? Did you get too close to the basil?
God damn it.
Sorry.
The John Doe. What was the last thing
Yeah?
he said?
He's seeing you.
And Carlos,
Which is weird,
you
because
said
it
there
seemed like
was-
he'd sort of died, you know?
Carlos, you went into his head, right?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
What was it like in there? At least from your perspective.
Bacon grease.
What?
I was very physical. I wasn't in the mindscape. I found the chip and
But you-
shorted it. It's like the equivalent of sticking your hand in a human brain, which is equivalent to a big fat pile of partially dissolved bacon grease.
Also,
That's
if there was a word that would probably come to mind is malignant. There was a lot of sickness in it.
Malignant was the overall vibe, though. He wasn't a healthy dude.
why do you know what it's like to put your hand in a human brain?
Human anatomy classes used to be a lot cooler back in the day.
He works in a restaurant. Of course he knows that.
No, Fred.
Ugh.
No.
The Sunday surprise.
God.
Well, it certainly surprised those senior citizens.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Very popular with the zombie population.
Oh, are
there's
zombies
there's
out?
zombies too?
I don't know. Just
Like
brains.
is it like Disney's zombie franchise?
What?
Don't worry about it.
It worked.
But he's psychic. What if
I was psychic.
What if he's not gone?
He's a flash clone. There's more of him.
You guys
where
hear that?
came from.
Yes, I can hear the
Yeah.
background ambience.
Nice. It worked.
Oh hell yeah. No, but I
It's-
mean,
In all likelihood, you are correct.
he's... Oh
your
god.
best case scenario. Your best case scenario is that he's part of a neural network with a bunch of other psychics that are cross-referenced across town. You know, like one of the mesh network things I heard one of the kids talking about.
Wouldn't want your
Like the internet?
I'll never catch on.
You wouldn't want the information to die with your field agents, especially if they have an expiration date.
Yeah, just that's kind of
Well-
crazy, right?
Carlos, you did go with the intent of burning out the transmitter, so you're not sure what that means for whatever his plans were.
I went and burnt out the transmitter. That much I know.
which I will remind everyone, he seemed to be dying before before Carlos attempted this.
Mhm.
So, I'm not saying that you gave him an aneurysm. You seem to be well on his way to that, and the massive overdose of epiphany didn't help.
Mhm. So yes, Olivia, what was the point you made?
No, yeah, just that's really weird. Like, not. I know we keep seeing weirder and weirder shit. One of us is but like, that's still pretty weird, right?
Is it? Consider that in the last
I
few
think so.
decades, what has become fiction is now fact.
Yeah,
The
that doesn't make
boundaries of
any less
science have been.
fantastical.
Yeah, they got these things called CDs now.
The boundaries of science are continuing to be pushed. Someday soon, our world may be unrecognizable to our eyes.
We also live on top of an organism that, by all known laws of gravity, shouldn't exist, but yet it does anyway.
Yeah, and then I'm not saying I don't believe it. I'm just saying, there's just more and more stuff that, as far as the world knew, didn't exist.
There's always another secret.
Is she gonna be snippy with it? No, she's not.
Well, yeah, you were just freaking out about secrets, so.
Yeah, no, again, the problem is not that they exist. It's just like, she is in.
I wasn't calling her a hypocrite, sorry.
Fred is immune to the weirdness because he's Fred.
Yep.
Olivia has repeatedly shown to be thrown off by the continued levels of weirdness we keep experiencing.
Above game,
She had
that's a you problem, Olivia.
Yeah, she had a very concrete view of the world, and it's just been repeatedly being nope.
To be fair, that wrestler that showed up randomly did throw Fred off his game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one exception.
And the whole using the phrase "concrete view of things" when such things as osteocrete is a expanding market,
bringing thylacines back from extinction,
or befriending a psychic crocodile person.
Yeah, but all of those things that could mostly be explained scientifically, the superorganism is still fucking weird and we don't understand it completely, but as far as the world is concerned, it's a science that we just don't get yet.
I guess she's not as open-minded.
Everyone's
God,
being
that is
mean.
not what's happening. Yeah, jeez.
We're all open-minded.
I'm sorry, I just really like to bully Olivia for some reason.
To be fair, you two have had an antagonistic dynamic several times.
It's very sibling coded for some reason.
They're the Rat Trap and Dinobot of the group.
Which one's the rat?
Who?
I think we know Hanzo's the Dinobot.
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
Are you originally from Brooklyn?
Rat Trap.
I do.
Also,
but,
and plus RC can be your aunt.
Well, that's weird, though.
Was RC Rat Trap's aunt? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
My great aunt RC.
That's your great aunt RC.
My great aunt RC.
That
Okay.
joke started because
Yeah.
Susan Blue, who voiced Darcy, was also like a major voice director in Beast Wars, and they wanted to throw more nods to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not that she's, it's close-minded. It's just, how would you react to being, suddenly, oh, hey, magic is real. Oh, hey, werewolves are also real. Oh, hey, psychics are real and may, in fact, be able to surpass death.
You have, in fact, seen how Hanzo would do in that situation. He mostly just goes, well, that might as well be a thing now. And then he moves on.
Yeah.
I feel like on their own, psychics are a bit more easy to digest than magic, since psychics
Sure.
kind of exist purely so people can pretend that magic is real, but they're doing it in a science way. That's
Yeah,
all psychic
it's not-
powers really are. It's magic, but it's in a science way, so it's more plausible somehow.
You're all bullying Olivia tonight. Jesus.
Well, TT is
I was just
unknowingly
bullying
bullying.
psychics.
Yeah, TT is unknowingly bullying my character Vask in VV's game.
I'm just bullying the concept of psychic powers in general. It's just magic.
But yes,
Um.
let us go on the field trip of doom.
Yeah. Olivia's had it. She'll.
Most of this bullying has been done above game. For in-universe, she's just receiving anxiety for some reason. It's like, people are talking about me. Maybe that's all that it is. Like, maybe our self-conscious voices are just the people playing us. Talking shit about us.
Oh, God. None of that. Yeah. With you having the epiphany and the notes not being, a dossier, she's gonna take the dossier. I mean, his notes, because, I mean, she found the thing. Yeah, so she'll grab that back up. It doesn't have all of our personal information in it. I'm gonna look through this some more. No offense, Hanzo, but you wouldn't have even found that part if it wasn't for me. Let's go.
Nope. You're heading out? Okay, what are the rest of you gonna do? Fred, your kids?
Before I go to
Seem
my
like
kids and
they're-
the others and say, is it just me or is there like a flirtatious vibe when those two argue?
No.
No.
I honestly I expect one of them to stab the other.
Yeah.
I'll put $10 down for Olivia stabbing Hanzo first.
Technically, Hanzo has already stabbed Olivia with like the anti-venom stuff. Still counts.
Yeah.
And also, in my character's defense, it's like, do you think Hanzo has ever once looked at another human being with lust? He has not. Look at that man. He is a sexless creature.
Yeah, I believe it.
So probably better to take Olivia's truck because it would, it goes it's a bit off road there for a bit. Not off road, but rougher dirt road.
Mm-hmm.
So, but your car can still, handle dirt roads. It's just going to be a lot bumpier. But unless you both want to take your individual cars up there because you don't want to ride together, that's fine. But Hanzo, when you get to
seem to go to do? Are you going towards her truck or are you going towards your car?
Your truck is better suited for it.
I will say though that when you pass by your truck, or not your truck, your car, Hanzo, the message light is blinking on your car phone.
Fire up your
Gotta
truck.
take that.
I'll be there in a second.
Right.
No, you don't have this phone, but look at this monstrosity I discovered recently. That's a cell phone from 1987, I think.
Yeah, the one you could kill somebody with.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you can carry it with you. No, that's staying in the car, not lugging that around. But Hanzo,
Yeah, he
the
clicks it.
And it is Detective Bentley's voice, surprisingly, going. Agent Hanzo, just wanted to give you heads up. Might have a lead on those jackal lizards you had to deal with, and the those strange custom-made scorpions. That got an anonymous tip. My desk again. Got an anonymous tip that there was some kind of commotion about to go down at an abandoned construction site. Got there, middle of a blackout. Cars nearly died on us as we were approaching, it seemed. But strangely enough, found some of those there, and dead body being taken to Dr. Guerrero, so I'm sure he'll have some things to say because, this is pluripotent corporate espionage written all over it, especially considering we got the anonymous tip and arrived here before your cleanup crew could. They didn't seem very pleased, especially your partner. Just wanted to give you that heads up, friend. That was that. There's no message from Johanna yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. He'll go and get into Olivia's truck.
What are the rest of you doing? Like, Fred, you're go hang out with your kids. They talk about having fun at the arcade. They say Alex is excited for you to join them next time. I think you were already there with them, but he's like, we got to play skee ball again. Come on, And your daughter says she had fun. She talked with some of the other kids like her age as she was kind of babysitting, but no friends yet. That kind of thing. Just average hanging out night for them. She does seem to notice the tear on your pant leg, but you said something about caught it on a branch or something.
Yeah. I'm accident prone, so it's actually pretty plausible.
Yeah. So yeah, they don't think anything else of it. But you might actually know how to sew for that reason.
Yep.
Plus, it's just the domestic dad.
Oh, and it's not like my wife would do that for the kids. She didn't like doing woman's work.
Right. Yeah, you're the domestic dad.
Mm-hmm. If Fred was an adult now, he'd be thriving as a male wife.
Yeah.
Born ahead of his time. He's gonna be just in time for the old grandpa, for the sad grandpa.
There's Ed Grandpa at the bad Grandpa.
So, anything else the rest of you wanted to do or chat about?
No.
While they're heading out?
Nothing in particular.
Winifred's gonna head home if nobody wants her for anything. Like, I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah, same with Tommy.
I mauled a man to death today, so...
No, that's fair.
That was my enrichment for the next month.
So, God, yeah, you really did drag him around like a cat, like a mountain lion or something. um. So, Livia and Hanzo, anything you wanted to chat about while you drive out there? It is a little bit of a drive, but
He is not making small talk.
Hanzo.
Olivia.
Jesus. Sorry for getting so snippy back there with the dossier. I know you're like this. You're all, you're professionally stoic, but like, it'd be nice sometimes to know that you're actually listening.
Whatever had you so guarded is your business.
Yeah, and I want to apologize for something else. I was looking through the files, see what he had on us. Like I said, I thought it was individually about all of our whole lives. Well, that's not what it was. And I saw something I shouldn't have seen. And it's not going to go past me, but I still want you to know. I think you can put it together.
This is not me trying to bully her, but just like the bitter irony that the thing she was kind of afraid of happening is that she ended up doing it herself, and that probably contributes to why she's feeling bad about it.
Yeah, no, that is very much so. She's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to, but it still happened, and not going to keep that from you.
Understood.
I mean, in all honesty, I suspected as much. But I'm I'm pretty good at digging into things.
It's not
and
like
it
I've
doesn't
been
change
good at
anything.
hiding it.
I mean, until they showed up, you've been pretty good at it.
It's not something I'm hiding so much as not telling people.
And that's entirely fair. I don't... I suspected it, but it wasn't something that I intended to, dig for. I encouraged you to tell me because, I think we've moved beyond our initial antagonism. Well, I think we're friends now. It was something for you to tell, not for anyone else, and I didn't want to learn that way, but I thought it had my personal information in it, and as I was skimming it, I saw it, and yeah. I'm not going to tell anybody. You don't need to worry about it. But I'm sorry.
Apology accepted. Tell me more about this site we're heading to.
Well, what can I tell them about it?
It was an old camping ground back during the height of tourism. Wasn't very popular. I mean, desert camping's fun, but this wasn't exactly like the best camping area. This was more like probably be better. They try to market it as you can camp and hike, but it is probably better just as hiking. But you could go out, rent different lots and stuff. Most campsites where it's like you can set up your tent here. There's a camp. There's a here's a fire pit. Make sure you use that rather than risk setting the desert on fire. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But over time, it just kind of died out. But you had to go respond to that because it is still sometimes used as is still marked as like hiking for like use. So you did have to go respond to that rattlesnake nest in the the restrooms because that's part of your job as animal control. Help maintain public amenities like that.
I went there as a kid. It was an old campground back when the tourism was big. It wasn't a very good one, but it's better for hiking. Honestly, it's very rocky. They tried to bill it as such, but it didn't really pan out for them. But I mean, I enjoyed the hiking, so I did the hiking. I had to go there once to get some snakes out of a bathroom once. Poor little guy was so confused.
Well, it was a nest of them because they nested there over winter.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. The poor things were holed up in there pretty good. Got them relocated safely, but it was a whole nest of them.
It wasn't that they were like inside the restroom areas. It was that there was a burrow that went underneath like the concrete of it. So there was that risk. They started to emerge, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's probably a bad thing to have people walking by."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't imagine it's going to be the prettiest when we get there, but it's also not. I imagine they're using the rockiness to help hide stuff.
As you said, it's remote and unpopular.
Yeah.
Understand this is just surveillance. We're not doing anything further than looking.
No.
At the first sign of trouble, we're leaving.
Yeah, I'm honestly kind of beat. I think it would be a good idea, even if I wasn't, for just the two of us.
I push for it now instead of later because by then they may already be packed up and moved out.
My thoughts too.
Heading out there, it's a bit of a trip. But eventually, there's no lights out there. It's middle of the night by this point. It's later at night. Not like past midnight or anything, but lights from the city in the distance. There's the mostly full moon is kind of creeping up. It'll be a while before it's like fully high in the sky, but the sorry, the campsite pretty much abandoned. There's not a single car here as you pull up to the parking lot area where the restrooms are, where you had to clear out the snakes the one time, and
yeah.
Oh god, I could feel a sneeze. Just am I gonna sneeze or not? Decide. I hate that. Oh god, sorry. So Yeah, there's no. Seems like the two of you are alone out here, as far as you can tell. And there is a trail. Your truck's probably a little bit too big to get up to it. Actually, no. There is this one would be like one of the ones closer to the road. So heading out, lot 36 is actually not, or like lot 6, because it. Oh yeah, that's how you would have noticed it. It's not site 36. It's site 3-6. There wasn't a dash in it, but there was enough of a space in the way the guy had written, and you had seen his writing with other numbers that gap was conspicuous, and that's how you got it. This is like campsite 3 of what that's how it would have been labeled. Of like, there's other campsites, like there's one closer to the river. That's a pretty popular one that's still in use sometimes. That kind of thing. But and this it would be lot 6, which is on the far end of the parking lot area on the other end of the campsite, and there is like a trail for just barely big enough for your truck to go trundling down, unless you wanted to walk yourself.
Yeah.
I say we walk it.
Same.
Let's do this quiet.
Sorry, this part was a little bit of improv.
Lock the truck, turn off the lights.
Yep, you got your flashlights and such. There's enough ambient light that you could probably, you wouldn't be noticing a lot, but there's enough light to navigate the trail with if you did have flashlights. But you have flashlights. I assume that's like just a standard monster investigator toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
Olivia
after
has
a
a
point,
high-powered military flashlight.
Yep, yeah, it's like after a point, I just assume that you carry those with you at all times. So you head down this trail. Investigate a mystery, please.
All right.
As you walk down to campsite 6. Here, I think that's.
Fuck? Oh my god, that was a 3 and a 1.
Okay, that's still you get a 1, and Hanzo you get a 2. So, some of these questions aren't really going to be useful, but what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here? You get to this.
I'll hold on to my questions until until I know the lay of the scene.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to ask what's being concealed here.
Okay. What's being concealed here? Okay, that will be closer when you get to the campsite. But as you walk along, you get to the campsite. It's kind of tucked between these. Yeah, it's like a mini valley in between these two hills that's kind of up against where the mountains start going up.
Mm-hmm.
When you walk by it, that would be the word, a gulch. And there is it's like, oh, trail goes this way. Do you see a trail going off? You walk past it and get to the campsite, and it's kind of hidden. Around there, you see like old beer cans, cigarette butts. Some of the rocks have been, unfortunately, graffitied. It seems that this place has at least had some use in people coming out to drink and party. But as you look around, it looks pretty empty. But Olivia, with what is being concealed here, you realize that you look around and you notice that there's like the occasion, there's boulders and stuff just scattered around because it's a rocky area. You realize that It looks like some of them have been shifted. There's this weird, like, path. But then you realize that's something you didn't notice as you were walking up the path. It's like, oh, that's just wide enough for, like, a vehicle. As you start following this as it goes deeper into this little gulch or gully, as you realize it's like, what the fuck? As you see that kind of tucked behind some boulders that were clearly repositioned, possibly blasted out. Older, not like this isn't recent, not like within the few days, but just it's strange. You think that there might have been more here at one point, like a false cover. As you realize, stepping back behind this cover of rocks, there is a roller shutter garage door tucked into the rock face
Shit.
with a smaller, like regular door to the side. It looks like the side of a garage. Just suddenly is kind of has been hidden on the side of the small mountain.
Yeah, she ducks.
There's no lighting, there's no lights or anything, there's no cameras, it's just this roller shutter door and the regular door. And there is a handle.
Shoots you a glance as she finds it. No, it doesn't look like there's anyone home.
And looking at the ground, you notice that there are tire tracks and footprints. Not just human footprints, as you see the recognizable now footprint of jack-o'-lizards. And actually a large footprint that you two were familiar with because you saw them smashed into the cactus and agave farms. It looks to be like mole tortoise tracks coming out of the roller door before disappearing at where the tire tracks start.
This is where they sent out the flash clones from.
Well, Hanzo, you still have 2 points. 2 holds.
Mm-hmm. And I believe you said there hasn't been a sign of any recent activity.
Nope.
Let me consult the questions again. What happened here is it seemed this is where the creatures were put into a truck. What sort of creatures is it? We can determine that.
What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? So, yeah, those questions, because the mystery's kind of already been solved in the monster aspect.
I'll come up with an original question, which is to say, kind of relying on that gut sense of, or just using his intuition, how dangerous would it be to investigate further? From judging by all the evidence of, like, how recent things look.
Okay, so looking around with your flashlight, let's see, I can't remember. So the tracks, you notice that because the ground had been kind of muddy in recent days, thanks to the recent rains, you can sort of tell that the tracks that were made were in partially dried mud, but nothing has been through since to like trample the more, the now brittle mud tracks. Mm-hmm. So it looks like whatever was loaded up here, nothing's been here since, except for maybe like occasional animal tracks. That might have been like a coyote track or something.
Mm-hmm. No one's been here in a while.
Yeah, I doubt there's anything super specific here, but I mean, I doubt they left about all of their important stuff behind, but they, I don't know, still find something.
That door look locked?
You go to try it?
He'll gesture to Olivia to get into a position where, in case someone answers the door, they're blind to her.
Oh yeah, that was another
Alright,
thing when
yeah,
you like
fine.
try to judge like how long people have been here. I'm not saying you like went up and pressed your ear against either door, but you don't hear anything. But you don't know how thick the doors or the walls inside are. So, but yeah, going up to the door, you try the handle, and it is indeed locked. There's not like a keypad or anything. It looks like it is a key.
I don't imagine you found a key on this person.
Did I?
No, but Olivia, because you did do what is being concealed here, and this is branching off of your the one with the plan.
Mm-hmm. Do I like reach underneath something and pull out a key?
No, it's as you're walking around, you take a step and you feel something clink under your foot as you see partially buried in the mud, probably dropped and forgotten, there is a little key. Da 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 da.
Yeah, she'll reach down and grab it.
Dust off the dried dirt and stuff and hand it over to Hanzo, and it is a fit. The door unlocks.
Yeah, he's
think
got
they
his
will
pull out his sidearm, hand over the key, get ready, just in case.
And you step inside. You open the door.
You want to unlock it or me?
He is armed. Open the door for him.
Okay. Yeah. So she'll do so.
You open the door and there's Tommy.
What?
What?
No, not really.
Oh, great, Tommy clone.
Oh God.
Gotta put him down.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, you open the door and it is dark. The interior, there's no light beyond your flashlight, but it sweeps around and you see like simple concrete floor, and like it's not a hallway, but you see it's like goes into what looks to be like, like the interior of a loading bay for a garage, but with some drywall walls in the back, leading deeper, like some doors leading deeper. But otherwise, it just looks like a garage, like a car garage that you just stepped into.
Yeah, you hold on to the flashlight. He's got the gun.
Okay.
And in the back, there's another big rolling door in the back. You're like linking this room to a room further back. But there are other smaller doors. And going inside, it is dark, it is stale air, it is dusty. Really feels just like an abandoned room, like abandoned building when you stepped in. But the disconnect is you were just out in the middle of the desert, and now it's like you stepped into an old abandoned garage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Let's not overstay our welcome, but give a quick look around.
And when you do a quick look around, you start going from door to door. You've just you flick the light switch, and after a few moments, the fluorescent lights buzz and hum to life. There does seem to be a power source here. And you see just what look. At first, it seems like, why does this look like there are empty rooms? You see what some of them look like they've been empty for quite some time. Others look like they were recently emptied. The dust patterns are, scuffed and moved. But it's when you open up the larger room, going through the other gate large doors, you realize it's almost like you have a flashback to Dr. Apostu's lab out in the desert. This is a similar but empty lab. It's sterile white, bright lights up. Well, semi-bright. The bulbs probably haven't been changed in a long time. The floor is dusty, but it has dusty in areas, but with areas cleared where it looks like there had been recent activity. Well, relatively recent, but
This was
and
where it all happened, but all the equipment's gone.
yep. Well, most of the equipment. It looks like anything. There's like old equipment that has been left behind, but you think that it wasn't what was relevant to what they were doing. It looks like someone came in and stripped everything that might be incriminating. Anything that might be evidence, that is all gone. But there are still like old machinery that tarps have been placed over them. You get the feeling this might have been repurposed from something previously, rather than created to create the flash clones as you go looking through.
Yeah.
But you have found one of the secret labs, rumored to be hidden around Oasis Valley. Do with this what you will.
All right. He's going. So I've seen enough. Let's get going.
And Hanzo, you do notice that there are some of the equipment definitely have like one of the older logos for Plurpug, because like any corporation, they love to redesign their logo.
Mm-hmm. He's looking to Olivia as they leave. He's still keeping his eyes open while he's talking to Olivia. I think I'm gonna report this. Alright, the story's gonna be you were out here hiking one night, suddenly you fell, you stumbled into that gulch, you found this, you reported it to me. Makes enough sense to you?
There's not anything in there, Hanzo.
No, there isn't. However, in case they don't know yet if this site's been compromised and found out, in case they come back, we could put bugs. Never let them know what you know. Is this acceptable? You there, Nora? Oh, no.
Nora.
Can you hear me?
No.
No, you sound very distant.
What? Oh.
Banished.
The Shadow Realm with you!
Are you there too, Scatha?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was like a connection.
No, it might
Yeah,
be
'cause it sounded like
her headset.
Hello?
Hello?
hello.
How do I sound?
Fine.
Now we can hear you. When you finally went, "Can you hear me?" You sounded like you were in a hole, like in a well.
Oh, God. Okay,
Olivia
yeah.
fell down the well. Go get her, Lassie.
Yeah, I think we should use this, Hanzo.
We use it.
Yes.
How could we possibly use it?
a place that Pluripotent doesn't know about. Yeah, this what was the name of the other company again?
Which one? Harrispex is the
Harrispex, yeah.
suspicion was involved with Jane or John Doe. Jane Doe was a
Harrispex may
TV show.
know. Harrispex may know, but they cleared out. And if we're really worried about them coming back, if we're here, I mean, then we can, catch them.
We'll see about that.
Do you have a problem, Hanzo?
No.
Then are you agreeing that this isn't a bad idea? Are you telling me no?
I'll think about it. It's an angle I had not yet considered.
So, there is a door that says like generator room, and when you go to check it out, it is probably a bit more sci-fi looking than the rest of the area.
Oh.
There isn't like a big flashing radiation hazard sign, but there is like actually there would be a radiation hazard sticker, like warning sticker. But it says Pearl Reactor. Uh, you know, uh, it would be labeled as Pluripotent Pearl Reactor Mark II, and it is.
Oh.
And it seems to be reading it seems to be giving a stable output of energy, which. But it looks like it can be cranked up to output more energy. It's just on reserve setting right at the moment.
Why is there a pluripotent generator out here?
You didn't notice the logo?
And now that you take a closer look at some of the leftover equipment, you can see an older style logo, like back from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that would be a good way to date it. That this would be like the logo they used like in the mid 70s.
Pluripotent may know about this, but any information about it's probably buried in a file cabinet.
Yeah, they're not gonna think to come here for anything. I said it and forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're lost. A little hidey hole that has power?
Oh, and actually, inside to the side of the garage, I realized they would have just dragged it inside and not bothered to put it back up. You do find like a fake little rock front. It is old, and on the outside, it's basically like plaster and styrofoam and old wood and chicken wire. And you see it on the outside that you see the continued graffiti that abruptly stopped where the rocks were, assuming this was how they used to hide it from, campers and stuff. So you could literally re-put it back up and know that it is hidden from any would-be like hikers or anything. Kind of surprising that it wasn't noticed, but this place is pretty left alone usually. So.
Well, it is nice. That we have another layer of protection. Hell, I could probably get some stuff out here, honestly. I go hiking sometimes. It wouldn't
Steal
be that
from-
weird to come.
Steal from work.
Yeah. No. I can ask the Falcon Lake Witness for stuff. Yeah, I could turn this. Honestly, I could turn this into a little safe hole. Maybe add some computers or something.
Above game is like, but you already have a safe space.
Well, yeah, this won't have the same level of
No,
protections
this
as
is
your
for
class.
the party. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm going to make it my ability. I'm saying Olivia could probably get stuff to make this place more useful for us.
Oh my god, I just realized. Yet again, I subconsciously aped off of Offbeat Melody. This is one of the random vaults that were hidden, like the bunkers that were hidden all over Melody. Shit.
Well, that's just a thing that exists in the world. Melody's had an unnaturally large number of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lasagna time.
Oh, lasagna time? What's that?
Oh god. Orange cats are coming for us all.
Yes!
Word on the street is you got lasagna. You wouldn't be lying to a cat now, would you?
You're about to understand why we hate Mondays.
So, anyways, that tangent aside, yeah, you have discovered an abandoned lab out in the middle of the desert.
What, Kelly? Get us lasagna.
So,
yeah, this place could be really helpful. Yes, yeah, Shady.
why did Totodile do a fusion dance with Garfield?
I don't know.
That's what Garjira looks like.
It is, yeah.
I don't like that.
So, Olivia and Hanzo, you can return at your leisure. You set up the disguise again? The false rocks?
Yeah.
Okay. I know that's not really like realistic or whatever, but whatever. So yeah, you can head back and inform the group, rest of you. Winifred headed home, which probably for the best since Cather's not here. Tommy and Carlos and Fred, anything the three of you were doing before, while they left?
Just hanging out with my beautiful kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about that. We did just kill a man. I'm not exactly wanting to get out and attract more attention to myself.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Hey, I didn't kill anybody.
No, we killed a man. That's what I said. You're an accomplice to murder.
I was explicitly not out there when the death happened.
It's important to, sorry, my brain just subtly flatlined.
Important to have my alibi in order.
That, but I was going to say it's important to point out where credit is due. Everyone on a collaborative project gets credit. So, sorry. So, we can fast forward to the two of you getting back, unless you wanted to chat a bit before you got there or on the way back. But we could just fast forward to Fred. You and your kids were probably getting ready to leave. You guys stuck around for dessert. Your kids were like, "Can we get dessert?" And because Carlos has the ice cream dispenser, the ice cream machine. And shakes. You do shakes too, so they were happy for that. But you're probably getting ready to head back home with them when Hanzo and Olivia arrive.
Oh, hey,
A little
Miss
bit late.
Winifred.
Hey.
Well, we found something interesting.
Oh?
Did you ever want like a clubhouse when you were a kid?
Yeah. But the
Congrats, you
tree
have one
branch
now.
broke, so that dream, died pretty quickly. Plus side, lots of kids signed my cast.
That makes sense. Well, we found one. Turns out, who we our
The kids are
our
you're all off on your own in the corner again. Your kids are enjoying the last of their shakes.
the company that we're pretty John Doe was getting his animals from this little bunker out in by an unused hiking trail. I recognized it because I've been there when I was younger. And I've been near there since, especially to catch some rattlesnakes that had set themselves up near the local restroom. But there's a there's a bunker with a power source there that's been long abandoned. And I think that we could get some use out of that. A place that Pluripotent doesn't know about. I mean, it used to be theirs, but it's from so far back that I doubt they're going to easily know about it. Tommy, you could go stay there if you're not feeling like the sewers.
There were like old couches and stuff. 1970s chic, but still pretty well preserved, honestly. Like the doors you realized were kind of like hermetically sealed to keep moisture in and the dryness out, or controlled environment, that kind of thing.
And who knows, maybe with some fortifying, it could be a good place for Tommy to hold himself up during full moons.
Yeah.
Because we've seen how strong he fucking is.
Hey, he just hunts javelinas. It's fine.
Just in case. And plus, now it's a place we can take things that doesn't involving your fucking place of business.
Yeah.
Because I know mechanically it's your sanctuary, but it also strains a little bit. It's like, Olivia, why you keep bringing people here? This is not a people place. It's an animal place.
Yeah, that's me being unable to, like, I don't know, do the suspension of disbelief. I don't know.
Hey.
I make characters react realistically, and that's a problem sometimes.
It's fine. I have explained.
Or, well, what I
is,
think is reacting naturally. There's always the DM bias. Anyways.
It has always led to fun interactions, so it's worth it.
It's gonna be funny when George is just like, it's like when you bring up, it's like, yeah, so I gotta tell you, I am dating a coworker, and George's like, oh yeah, I know. Once you started hanging out with Itzel, you stopped bringing weirdos to hang out.
Oh my god.
He'd be, in the moment he put it a little bit nicer, but that's totally like eventual conversation, even if it doesn't happen on screen. But anyways, yeah, sorry, hasn't been very interactive for some of you, sorry.
It's fine.
It
Very
happens.
good.
So, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off at delivering the news, Olivia and Hanzo.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a secret base now. Woo.
Oh, there was also a clarification I meant to make when you, because it didn't get, I was waiting if it got brought up when you were talking to Hanzo about what you learned, but the thing about Johanna, it's, when it mentioned Hanzo, assumed former Yakuza, good assumption, pretty sure he's a former Yakuza, that's what the note said, but it's like, uh, Agent Wakefield, possibly CIA. It was like questioning. It's like definitely former government, not sure which agency.
Okay.
They said best guess is CIA, but who knows? There's so many different departments, so many different agencies. And Hanzo, McLean likes to not poach, but draw on people with experience.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just imagined, because you said that, Scatha, that Winifred just shows up eating a plate of lasagna, listening.
She wishes she could eat lasagna.
Problem with having a sense of super smell and not being able to eat food anymore.
That is truly torment.
God.
It's a special kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah, it might be like one of the things is like, oh yeah, vampires are cursed. A vampire was like, oh yeah, we're cursed. It's like, why? And that's one of the reasons they list. Like, you know how
I can't
awful
wait
it
for
is?
us to meet a vampires like
This is a cursed existence.
why?
I am Italian.
Yeah.
fucking suck.
I can no longer enjoy my mother's cooking.
Why do you sound like Count Morlock?
I smoked 3 packs a day.
God. 3 packs
Now
a
I
day
am
for
stuck
70
like
years
this.
straight. So, unless there was anything else you wanted to chat about. Oh yeah, Scott, just to catch you up. Where did you leave off?
They were chatting about the abandoned thing that they found out in the desert.
Deciding to keep it. The group is deciding to keep it secret.
Keep it safe.
Nice. Secret bases are always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I realized I subconsciously copied Melody again with that because of all those hidden bunkers that were around Melody.
It's
Oh,
fine.
Yeah. But because I was actually thinking about the Tremors TV show, because that was a big influence on this game, because there were always like weird mad scientists out in the desert.
Well, and like the thing is, the hidden bunkers are based on like, Melody is based on a whole bunch of like folklore and urban legends as well as cryptozoology and stuff. And there are a lot of folklore in America about hidden bunkers because there are just a bunch of like bomb shelters and things, in America that have been abandoned or forgotten about, since the Cold War. And a number of real life tragedies have occurred or mysteries as a result of somebody accidentally finding one of those bunkers and getting locked in.
Yeah.
So
Or,
Melody just took that and exaggerated it for, goofy
plot
effect.
reasons. Yeah.
It's not really exclusive to Melody. It's an American phenomena.
And like Dr. Apostu's lab that you guys discovered in the second arc, she had that constructed, it seemed, by Simulacra, or they built it for her. But
With flesh.
what?
With flesh.
You gotta you gotta kind of envy their. Oh god, just because I've been looking into Venture Brothers lately, can't help but think that there's some kind of organization that all the other evil organizations go to for clandestine like base building operations. It's like you can trust our goons. to keep their mouths shut.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with like Invincible with the art, the super suit Taylor.
Mm.
Actually, that becomes a plot point in the last 2 seasons of Venture Brothers as well. The superheroes and villains all get their uniforms from this one cranky Italian guy in Little Italy. Anyways, so not a very entertaining game. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
No,
fine.
none of that.
It is just wrapping up details, but I do need time to progress.
It is the denouement session.
Yeah, I do need time to progress to the next day. So,
To the next day.
yep, all of you, you know, fairly late. It's probably not as lively as the ambiance implies. You know, well, there is like a vampire rush that comes in, but you what?
What a wonderful sentence.
Uh huh. It's much easier to handle than a human rush because humans require meals. Vampires, you just crack open a bottle of the new blood, maybe mix it with the coffee. Yeah, it's a lot easier.
You go from being a cook to a bartender.
A barista. Yeah. So yeah, Fred, you and your kids head back home. Alex is pretty tired. You know, he's having the sugar crash after all that ice cream. And as you learned from Tiffany, quite a bit of candy at the arcade. But you know, kids, what you gonna do?
They're allowed to have a lot of candy.
Yeah. So you can get home, the kids go to bed, and you can catch Winifred up, telling her about the new bunker. You want to tell her about that, but
Yeah.
Scott is still lasagnaing.
Yeah, I'm still eating. So
Okay, no worries.
he could just say that you told me.
Yeah, I convey the information.
Okay. So
Olivia goes home as well.
Yep.
She checks on her snake.
One of the good things about reptile pets, good. Just as you left them, they seem pretty chill.
Good.
And yeah, Tommy, you go back down to your little hideout.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, you there?
Yeah, I'm.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, middle of the night. I should turn off the cafe noises as Love left. As you're sleeping, or you're getting ready for bed. You're not quite falling asleep yet on with your sleeping bag and stuff, but there is like you're in that state of falling asleep when your ears, which living out in the living on the road, you have to be pretty attuned to noises around you even when you're sleeping, as you hear what sounds like a shuffling of something quite large coming up through the tunnel towards you.
Oh no. Someone's going to say TT wants Melkies.
Oh, no.
I always do.
Oh no. Nope. And instead of a voice calling out, you hear words within your brain as you feel the mind touch of Thundar. As you realize further back in the tunnel, kind of cramped, very cramped for him, he goes, "Tommy, I apologize for waking you when you seem to be trying to sleep, but
What up?
did something happen above today?"
There were cloned organisms. and we encountered a flash clone of sorts. Wait, would Tommy know?
Yeah, you would have been there when they mentioned it.
Okay, that had psychic capabilities.
There has been strange whispers from above rather than below. It has been confusing.
Strange was. What were they saying, if you don't mind me asking?
It was. They were. And there's like this pause as if trying to find a way to breach the like translate the concept.
Mm-hmm.
As it's less words that you see, but more like pipes where the thoughts are moving within a protective outer layer where you can hear like it's like as if you can hear water running through pipes but you can't see it, you know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like they're like we whispers through the air strand like, but then there was silence, abrupt silence before an eruption of noise. And this is all like auto translate your brain try to auto translate what these thought impressions are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something died loud.
Yeah, it seems either Spindle or another organization decided to send a flash clone and to take its secrets to the grave. So we wouldn't. They basically had a failsafe if anything went wrong.
I listened. I stayed still many days and just listened, trying to understand what it was. It was like, and you get this vision of like, almost like a tree, where there is like a central branch coming down before it splits branches off into different connections. And he goes, there was, and they, Thunder goes, one of the biggest connection was to something, to I think it was a mole tortoise that was not within the flesh. That was abruptly removed as well. But then it was like, and again, they pause as they go, tonight the different branches withered before the branch itself caught fire, and whatever it was reaching to far away outside this valley, it was severed before it detonated.
Are you able to tell how far out, or is
Beyond the reaches of the organism, beyond this valley.
that's not good?
And so, I mean, you're thinking about the timing of it as you realize the branch is probably this John Doe, and the connections were to the creatures it was controlling.
Mm-hmm.
So you realize that when Carlos cut the connection from whatever was linked to far away, it then combusted, which was like the visual that was streamed into your mind.
Okay.
As you realize, the combustion was probably the epiphany overdose.
Yeah. The combustion was him taking his own life, or the failsafe activating.
Yes, they died very loudly.
Yeah.
Why don't you ask Thunder about Epiphany? Like, the whole psychic thing?
Because if you remember, Hanzo brought this up, that psionic signals can't be detected. But here's Thunder talking about them, This is how he
He's
naturally.
psychic.
Yeah.
Would Thunder know about drugs?
The epiphany is derived from the
You
thinking
could probably
fluid.
he could probably gain. If you think about them, he'd probably understand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things about psychics, I guess, is like, oh, they can like download information a little bit faster if you offer it to them. At least that seems to be the intent with Thunder. As you explain epiphany to him,
Yeah.
and he goes, curious what humans make, but I don't know what that would have, what effect that has on humans, but it is rare, so rare that anyone has reported of being able to hear a human in that way, let alone one so loud, yet guarded.
Yeah. Honestly, probably getting them into some sort of mental state, getting their brain functions moving.
I was but a small hatchling, and I do not recall my senses do not reach that far, but speaking to the Great Mother, she says she recalls one other time where if we saw, and you see that translated, it's like if what we saw was a branch catching fire, she heard an entire grove of trees suddenly igniting years ago. Something that made the superorganism flinch. That is considered one of the like horror stories of of the above, because as far as the Tirandra are concerned, they have no explanation for that. And he tells you this little story, sharing it just from the comparison from the you know what I mean?
Yeah. So basically, a widespread thing of epiphany, essentially, right?
That would be a safe assumption. Yeah, a larger event that happened all at once. Which actually, Hanzo. Sorry, what?
Wasn't there a mass suicide?
I can't remember if Hanzo informed the group of that. We're talking about Epiphany. Did you talk about the Church of Cosmic Reunification, Hanzo? DZ? Oh no.
Easy.
Oh no, he's dead.
He's dead.
What?
Are
You
you
there?
okay?
Like I spaced out for a moment. What's up?
How far back do you remember, like, Bobby's encounter?
Last I remember was Thundar talking about is like strange things humans do.
Mm-hmm. He brought up. Did you ever? So Thundar brought up that he compared this John Doe burning himself out to a story that his mother told him, or informed him about how years ago, if he was like a branch catching fire, then an entire grove of trees was ignited at once. And saying that, and then Olivia brought up, or Nora brought up, wasn't there a mass suicide? So I couldn't remember if Hanzo ever brought up the mass suicide of the Church of Cosmic Reunification. I know it got brought up recently.
No, he hasn't shared that information with the group.
Okay, so yeah, Tommy wouldn't know that. So Tommy wouldn't know to make that connection, but just like, so he tells you that, and he goes, "We do not know what happened, but it was just powerful enough psionic scream that it made the superorganism itself flinch.
Lord.
But I will,
Yeah.
if you say the danger has passed for now, I will deliver the news to my kin so that they can be relaxed.
Yeah. The current issue is dealt with. So for right
Very
now,
well.
things should be okay.
Good to know. And I hope you are well, Tommy. Your sister? There is that
Mhm.
questioning color to the thought. Going, goes, she has been well behaved within the swamp and curious.
I am glad she's finding a good place to grow.
And Thunder goes, uh, as long as she remains behaved, I suppose, she'll have a home down here. There are
I
many
imagine.
things that find refuge in the dark.
Yeah. I imagine she'll be fine.
And you kind of get the sense he's including you in that
Mhm.
classification.
That's fair.
And he goes, I apologize for interrupting your slumber, but it is good to see that things are. And you kind of see that there's like a tone of humor when he says, see. It is good to see things have gone well.
Indeed. Thank you.
And you can sort of see him do the okay, now I got to shuffle backwards through this tunnel because it's not big enough for him to turn around. But eventually scoots backwards enough to get back to the swamp. There was that little bit of a update from him.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent.
So you go to sleep, no problems. Thankfully, the lizards haven't, both the river soar and your carnivore sister have thankfully laid off on pilfering your snacks, so you can rest easy. Um, but yeah, rest of you go to bed. You know, or stay awake in case of the night owls or night bats. But um, in the morning, Hanzo, pretty early when you hear your phone ringing. It's not even like sunrise yet.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
Because you hear a voice, Agent Hanzo. It's Dr. Guerrero from the coroner's office. Do you recognize the voice?
Mm.
I apologize calling you this early, but I believe that you should come down before the remains are transferred to pluripotent. They are being rather insistent.
You'll quickly get dressed.
So, and you head down and you see a pluripotent van, waiting, but you go down to meet Dr. Guerrero. Yes, no one else is down there with him. But he goes, Agent Hanzo, thank you for getting here so quickly. I know it is early, and yeah, like sun hasn't risen yet, but it's getting pretty close. Like by the time you leave this place, go back up, it's probably going to be out by that point. But he goes, Detective Bentley told me that I should get you involved with this before it leaves our hands, even though I assured him you would more than likely receive this information yourself, perhaps even more thoroughly. But you know how detectives are, everything's a conspiracy. So he motions for you to follow him into the autopsy room, and they're on a table. Uh, well, there's a sheet covering it, but he goes, curious case last night. Body found in abandoned construction site surrounded by homunculi and cloned animals, as well as that center of a localized blackout. Very curious. I wouldn't make a comment on that if, well, as he gestures and pulls back the cloth, as you see, John Doe's laying there. Calling him John Doe wasn't supposed to happen until this moment, but you see the figure from the previous night laying there. The top of his head has been removed.
Ugh.
The brain has been removed. But oh no, it would no the skull cap would still be there, but it's clearly been opened up. Like you see the line where it's been cut, and it's the scalp is gone. So like you see the actual skull cap has been replaced to keep the insides there. Not to get too gruesome about autopsy details, but he goes, no name, identification is non-existent with this, so we're just calling him John Doe. But I wouldn't have mentioned the whole blackout thing if not for what I found within this thing's brain.
Thing.
As far as I can tell, this is a flash clone of a human.
Is that possible?
Assume you know the term by working with Clairpone, I assume, but theoretically, yes, any organism can be flash cloned, but it is highly illegal for humans to be cloned with a working brain. That's the technical limits of the law, but that is to ensure that thinking humans can't be cloned, but it is still a loophole so that tissue and organ donors can be cloned. Various organs, and he gestures to like where the Y incision had been done, and he goes, various organs in states of failure. The heart was much too big. Well, actually, that was the curious thing. There were two hearts. One was slightly enlarged. The other one was the normal sized human heart for a man of this supposed age. But two hearts. Not a mutation, it seems, but a distinct choice because the other organs have been shaped carefully around for its inclusion. Which Winifred, Hanzo, you would remember Winifred saying that she heard two heartbeats, as you all assumed that it might have been another control heart from simulacra or similar. But no, this fellow had two hearts. But other than that, various organs in states of disrepair and failure, cancers starting to crop up, and cancer cells starting to crop up. Shut up, motorcycle. But the real strangeness comes from the brain. I won't I won't give you the tour. I'm sure the mad scientist back at your workplace won't want this mad scientist poking around it. He kind of gives us a like, ha ha ha, like very dry laugh. Dr. Guerrero's sense of humor is a little weird if you haven't picked up on him.
He's a coroner.
He's
a
that seems pretty
vampire.
common with.
He's a vampire coroner.
Yeah.
But he goes, within it. Oh, sorry, I have to go. My notes I actually wrote down. I usually say about it. Cranial dissection shows the brain has basically been fried. My guess is massive epiphany overdose due to some of what the toxicology came back. But the brain composition is odd in itself. Its configuration is weird, with areas overdeveloped with advanced neuron density, while others are oddly atrophied. If I had a guess, whoever this was, emotional regulation was not the best, but they were extremely observant and could probably multitask like nothing else.
What
But
purpose would a second heart have in all of this
redundancy,
redundancy? If this
most
person's
significant.
brain is as smart as you say, then what more blood to circulate, faster
That as
thinking.
well. That as well. From what I would guess, without more thorough examination, this individual's body temperature probably ran hotter when thinking too hard, as the blood would have to act as a coolant system. So that is a good. That is one. That is a good theory. The other is perhaps just redundancy. One heart gets stabbed, it can still keep going. I have heard of that being mentioned for combat implants for soldiers. That's he gives a shrug. But the strange thing is there are also several unknown but severely damaged neural implants and what I can just guess are new organs within this thing's brain. Their purpose, I cannot know. They are so severely damaged from this synaptic overload, if I had to call it that. It's bizarre. In my decades of examining people far far deeper than anyone else would enjoy, I've never seen anything like this. Whoever made this thing designed it for one thing only, and damn the consequences for the rest of its life. He says, kind of like, I was like, hit, full, like pity. But
I've heard about cloning animals, but animals at least have millions of years of instinct to call upon. Flash cloning a human seems odd. We're much more dependent on how we're raised. Doesn't that seem counterproductive?
I mean, there's all kinds of ethical things like that. It's just, I cannot tell you what the person was thinking who created this. This is, I have seen horrible things in my many, many years, but this is one of the worst. It is one thing to kill something that has had a life, it is another to give something a life that should not live.
Humanity itself reduced to a tool.
And he recovers the body with a sheet, goes, I am not here to debate it. I would still be hiding in a backwoods coroner's office, flitting from town to town, feeding upon the dead, if not for cloned blood, thanks to pluripotent. So, and probably the most backstory you've gotten from him ever. The only backstory you've gotten from him.
Well, I mean, when you're staring a pretty good example of death in the face, I guess it makes you sentimental.
Uh-huh. He's just, well, your associates want this taken in. They want their doctors to take a look, and they wanted to bag him up with the rest of. Heard there were giant bugs and some endofaunal lizards. They just wanted to bag him up like a specimen, but Detective Bentley stepped in. I don't think that will earn him any points from Flurpont or the higher ups, but better that we know this than it disappear behind those doors. No offense.
None taken.
Nope. He'll nod and start zipping up the body bag for transport. And so that was all he had for you. So, actually, when you step out, waiting for you in the parking lot as the sun's, crack the horizon, and you probably have to pull out sunglasses, is Agent Wakefield. She's there, oh, Hanzo. Rough morning, too, she says, also wearing sunglasses with the coffee in hand.
You could say that.
Yes, I can say once this case is wrapped up, I'm going to enjoy sleeping in a little bit. But quite a grisly sight down there, huh?
From what I heard, yeah.
Oh, and she goes, well, seems that whatever conclusion came to this happened without. She kind of pauses, and you can sort of tell just from her brow furrowing, she's kind of squinting at you behind the glasses, that outside interlopers dealt with the situation before we could find a satisfying conclusion. At least we are here to clean up, yes?
What is it they say? Done is better than perfect.
And I'm sure that with it being kept rather discreet, Sheila's agreed to keep this incident out of the news, considering how strange it is. But I think the boss will be happy. Actually, Sheila's article yesterday might be a glowing review for us, as well as Olivia down at the preserve. Don't get name it names. But um,
Wait, they know that we were there?
she's kind of implying that she's like, who else would be? I'll just say Hanzo. You kind of get the vibe she's not outright asking you or accusing you, but she's just like, you get the vibe in her head. She's probably like, I bet it was these fuckers. But
But
she's
I can't
not,
prove it.
yeah, she's not pressing it. She goes, oh, curious thing though. Found some of the jackal lizards. Just same, look, just like the ones we found in the butcher shop. Curious thing. Someone had darted them inside their tanks. Looked like pluripotent type tranquilizers, but those can be found on black markets all over the place. Plus, they're used at the preserve and other wildlife handling services.
I thought we took the
This
living
last-
jackal lizards.
No,
No, we
you
left
wouldn't.
them.
Yeah, but you darted them inside their tanks because they were trying to hurt themselves out of panic.
Yeah. This last week has been full of mysteries with satisfying answers.
Yes, and actually, that's what I was tracking down before. You can read about it once we all give our reports to the boss. But last night I was busy tracking down leads with some of my criminal contacts. That those the fools that got scorpioned, out in the desert on the car wash. Talked to some of their buddies, and it seems that our John Doe down there, or at least someone fitting their description, I'm gonna put it past it if it is the same guy, approached them saying, it's like approached them going, "Hey, got a business proposition. I'll supply the equipment and the equipment and the supplies. You just need to get this set up. I'll start operating this lab for me, and we can make a lot of money." Seems that he said
it was a setup.
exactly. But my guess with how both Sheila and the detective were both informed at the same time before Pluripotent. It was only luck that I was there with your friends that we happened to find them before they arrived. That I guess it was
to make anything and everything to make Pluripotent look incompetent.
Yep. While setting, I think I'm afraid that if Sheila ends up dead, it's going to look like we killed her, because she kept showing up and I also being targeted after she made an she kind of does air quotes with one hand, while holding the coffee. She goes, "Well, embarrassing us," and it's not a secret now that I've been told to emphasize that it was unappreciated.
If I had to guess, John.
I guess what? Sorry, you cut out.
If I had to guess, many, if not all, of the last have been probably came from this John. Any opportunity to make us bad.
Worrisome. This implies that they have a lot of connections and a lot of information on how we operate.
Yeah.
But otherwise, from what I've mentioned when I talked to McLean last night, given the update, he seemed satisfied. So we'll have to go in and chat him up soon enough. Yeah. She wanted to say chat him up. We would have to go check in and deliver a report soon. She'd be a little more professional. So, yeah. Is there anything else, Hanzo?
Nope.
Okay. Now we're getting close to pumpkin time. I almost said hamburger time. That is a completely different meaning.
Getting close to hamburger time, fuckers.
Oh. Connection.
Oh,
Hello.
There you go.
Okay, so we're pretty close. We could wrap up slightly early unless there was anything people wanted to chat about. Hanzo, can say that you and Wakefield, you head into McLean's office and basically deliver the reports saying, actually, you know what? We'll deal with the agency. I haven't had you roll that in a while.
Oh boy.
Trying to convince him that that you weren't involved with it, despite evidence that there was someone with pluripotent equipment. Because there wasn't.
Boy.
So the fun thing is, thankfully, you didn't fire any guns, so they can't track your ballistics. Because you just used the. Hey, let's see. What does that imply?
Not so great.
Okay.
Shoot.
So, I think I know how I can go with this. Hold on, let me see. Deal with the meetings.
Because I'm sure the bosses would love to hear is like, so let me get this straight. The problem's been taken care of, but it wasn't done by any of our people.
Yeah, that's basically it. He's just like, well, the higher ups will definitely be satisfied that this situation seems to be handled quietly for now. Sheila Riggy seems to be cooperating and keeping these aspects silent, and the police are, as always, willing to keep quiet as well. They know who supplies their payrolls and supplies them with new cruisers. So, but the thing is, this if the two of you hadn't been doing such wonderful work, I would be a lot more upset. The fact is, this danger has passed. Bosses are happy. Creatures are contained. Public is unaware. That is a win for us, but we can do better, can't we?
Yes, sir.
It's gotta. And Wakefield goes, yes, sir. Good. Now, you don't have to be attached to the hip anymore, but I do expect you two to work together. Just
Of course, sir.
for the time being, you two are still assigned to work together, but good work so far. Wish that we had handled the end, but we'll investigate this and find out who's meddling around in our backyard soon enough. Carry on. So, Wakefield, she seems like, well, at least we are deeper in the doghouse. I don't want to get too comfortable in the doghouse. You know what I mean? But, so, that little bit of a conclusion for that.
Wakefield, you should know better than to like try and strike up a conversation with Hanzo.
So, Fred.
Hey.
Just want to do a little bit of, get a little bit of. So, morning time, you're probably getting ready to sleep, go to sleep, but you always stay up long enough with your kids for breakfast. And, your kid's eating probably much too sugary cereal as Alex looks, he goes, so, Dad, do you miss back home, Midwest?
Yeah. But it's not a bad life here, and you never know where you're gonna end up as life goes along.
Yeah, it's just weird. I've never been somewhere where it doesn't snow. I mean, I know it's spring, but it must be weird when it was winter and there was no snow, right?
Yeah, but on the other hand, I have not had to drive home in a blizzard for a while, and I am okay with that trade-off.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And Tiffany kind of laughs at that, but then she gets like a thought. I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to deal with that in my future."
Yeah.
And then Alex just kind of gets this sly little grin, and he goes, "So, Dad, my birthday's coming up. What do you get me?" And Tiffany reaches over and like some playfully, and she's like a big sister. She's like, "Weeb, you're not supposed to ask that. You're supposed to ask, what are we doing for your birthday? If we are doing anything." She teases him, and he's swatting at her. Sibling teasing.
Was out of character. Was our plan for the birthday to go to the luchador fight?
That doesn't have to be it, but it will be taking his birthday will be the next arc.
Yeah, I feel like that was it at one point, or that was definitely a thing that we were going to do.
Yeah, it's not on his, it's not the same night as his birthday, but it's like, the same week. Once I plot out the camp, the next arc, I'll decide. It's like either the day before or the next day from his birthday. Yeah, you were invited to go to that with the kids.
We've got a bit of a day plan. I haven't shown them the biological preserve yet, right?
I don't believe you've gone there. No.
Well, how would you like to see some prehistoric creatures brought back to life, or extinct creatures? I guess. I suppose they are technically historic.
Oh, the reanimation extinction place. And Tiffany's like, I think it's called the Preserve. I heard your friend Olivia talking about it. She works there, right?
Yeah. We're going to have ourselves a real nice visit.
Oh, cool. And Alex seems satisfied by that. And so yeah, they seem Alex seems excited for his upcoming birthday. You have a nice breakfast with your kids. What a friend's there.
Menacing.
Maybe not in the same room, but it's her house.
She's just standing there, menacingly.
No, it's just Winifred's there. Camera zooms out, and she's just clinging to the ceiling like a gecko.
She would, though. It is her house. She can do what she wants. She doesn't realize how creepy she is.
Of course, a child would not find that creepy. They would just think, wow, you're so cool.
Yeah, Alex would be like, I wish I could do that.
No, you don't, kid.
It's like, yeah.
Just like we were
cool,
talking about
the
earlier.
cost.
It's like the price of such powers means you're no longer going to be able to eat pasta, boy.
Oh, no.
You like pizza, kid?
Yeah.
Then you don't want to climb on ceilings.
No pizza.
All right, then, because you get too greasy to stick. Got it.
Yeah, sure, that's why.
Yeah, no, he's like 11 turning 12. He's not like super young. He understands.
She's old enough where she saw the invention of pizza and has never been able to eat any.
Oh. That's hellish.
Holy fuck. That's evil.
I mean, as someone with dietary restrictions, it's one of those things is like, well, I mean, I can't miss something that I never had in the first place, or I don't remember having.
Yeah. So,
but knowing that you can't have it is a kind of hell.
Yeah, I know we're close. Tommy.
Yeah.
You think Tommy would inform people about, we could just say this is real quick rather than like doing a whole nother session just for this, but we could do it at the start of the next turn. But Tommy informed them about his Thundar visit, his chat with Thundar. My dinner with Thundar. Hanzo, we can save you explaining the if you want, we can go deeper into the whole explanation of the mass suicide next time. That would be that would be a good way to start next time. Like maybe Tommy or Hanzo, you haven't brought it up yet. We'll figure it out next time. But
yeah,
Carlos, don't worry. Next time you'll have a lot more to do.
Ominous.
The wizard police are coming.
Well, also your crocodile's almost ready.
It's true. I've been working very hard on that crocodile.
Yeah, the custom order pieces that Denise is doing. That would have actually been something I should have mentioned. She did send you a message saying it should be a few more days, and then all the pieces you ordered will be ready.
Fantastic.
And I'm just going over like minor details so that it's in people's brains for next time. The Yeah, that's about it. So I think I can do a stinger to
Is
leave
my
us.
special flak vest with like some silver put in it ready?
I forgot you were getting that, and yeah, that would have been done.
Okay, cool.
The
Like it's not
extras,
gonna.
yeah, it doesn't add extra armor, but it might be a deterrent to something getting close to you.
Yeah, something like a hostile werewolf or whatever.
Yeah, nothing to give you. No werebears will give you bear hugs now,
Not without consent.
right? So all of you, as once again, it's business as usual. The current mystery has been resolved there over the next few days. There's been no reports of strange animals or burrowing things. News report comes on about the mole tortoise and how it's announced that it will be housed at the preserve once commendations are made. And it's like uh, uh, Pluripotent proudly supports the preserve and its message, and gladly welcome people to come witness, the good that Pluripotent and the preserve have done for for the people, for the people of Redemption and the world, doing spin. Um,
Yeah.
you get the feeling it's not Sheila's work, but probably someone else at the
Yeah.
news station. But yeah, but uh, as the we leave off as oh hold on. So we leave off as a stranger wanders into town, much similar to a similar vagabond weeks prior. But this fellow, much nice. I don't mean to be insulting. I'm sorry, but this fellow, strangely clean from seemingly walking into town on his own 2 feet. Uh, a man, slicked back hair, sunglasses shielding his eyes from the glare of the sun. Snakeskin jacket, probably much too hot for the sun beating down on him. The snakeskin jacket matching his snakeskin cowboy boots and dusty dusty jeans as he walks into town, just whistling a jaunty little tune, and pauses on a hill looking over the city, and he goes, "Oh, this will be fun, won't it?" And we're going to end there.